Cooper Kupp on Brandon Staley's defense. All right, so this was sent to me. So Cooper Kupp was recently doing a podcast, and he kind of starts talking about defenses in the NFL nowadays, and he eventually gets to Brandon Staley. Now, I haven't seen the actual clip, so we're going to watch it and react along together. So here we go.
Is it harder to face defenses now compared to a couple years ago?
Yeah, no, it is from my perspective. This is from my perspective. So don't get, no one won't even get offended. But here we go.
I love whenever people either say "I think" or "this is my opinion." It's like, yeah, we know. Like it's inferred that it's your opinion since you're the one saying.
So in 2017, 2018, Sean McVay's offense is ahead of the game. There were times we were in plays, I'm like, they have no idea what is going on, and we were just manipulating them, moving them to where we wanted to go. It was stupid. 2019.
This is a great. I mean, the NFL really has evolved in the last 7-8 years. It reminds me a lot of poker. Poker used to be all about instincts and just kind of guile and just like, there was a mystery to it. And then it kind of got solved. And, I don't mean literally. I know it can't be solved like chess, but all of a sudden it got very statistical. It got very like, okay, well, pot odds became a thing. GTO evolved, ranges evolved. And all of a sudden it wasn't about instincts. No one was wearing sunglasses at the poker table anymore. It wasn't cowboy hats and guts. It was basically solving arithmetic. And the NFL kind of went through that where it used to be big man versus big man. Which big man wins? Move forward. Can you move forward better than the other team? Right? That was it. Like defensive ends, they were doing one thing. They were going straight, and it was up to the tackle to stop them. There wasn't any stunts. There wasn't all these super complex blitz packages. It was all very linear. The running games were very linear. Passing games were very linear. The route trees were the same stuff you draw up in the backyard. Then all of a sudden it changed, and it became this chess match where you started seeing all this motion, and you started seeing all this manipulation and mismatches, and the offenses started to kind of shift. As it happens, the offense shifted first, so then the defenses shifted. So, McVay is a great example. McVay, Shanahan, they absolutely changed how we approach offense in the NFL.
Defenses start catching on. There's a little bit of this Vic Fangio thing that comes on. Yeah. It's like, okay, late in 2018, there was some stuff that's like showed that they could kind of stop this offense a little bit. But 2019, you start seeing some more of this cover 4, some of the 6-1 stuff. You see safeties now playing things, from depth and being.
Yeah, so the McVay, if you don't know what Kupp's talking about, so when the Rams went to the Super Bowl, the infamous, we all know how they got there. When the Rams went to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots went back and looked at a Vic Fangio scheme and copied that basically verbatim and completely neutralized Sean McVay and the Rams offense. And there's case studies and articles written on this. We've covered it before, but basically what he did was he jammed the line of scrimmage and didn't really react to what was going on. So all of a sudden, all the zone and all of the motion and all of that didn't matter. They were just packing the line of scrimmage. They were not allowing the zone run scheme to work, and they weren't falling for any of the motion. They weren't allowing themselves to be manipulated. They were just doing the same thing, coming at them, stopping the run, loading the box, and that was it. And it completely neutralized the Rams.
Cancel things across. 2020 comes. Brandon Staley gets hired to LA. Brandon Staley was with Fangio.
Yep.
Chicago. Staley in 1 year puts together the number 1 defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Now Staley's thing is all about concept recognition, concept match, being able to be like cancel routes, move on to new things.
So pattern matching is what the Fangio, at least in the secondary, is what Fangio, Saban, Staley do. Now, just like in poker, and just like on the offense with Sean McVay, if you are going to ratchet up the complexity of these schemes, and you're going to ratchet up the complexity of what it takes to play the game, in this sense, it's football, the player has to be really smart. The player has to be really good and really understand what's happening. In this like pattern matching, route canceling kind of system, it's up to the defensive backs to recognize what routes are being run, and then what is the what's the list, the priority list that they basically have to go down to match whatever route or eliminate whatever route's not being run.
Now you've got a defense that's not just dropping to spots, but now they're playing the offense. Right. And now more and more of this is shifted and molded into this defenses now that are holding these shells and being able to say, hey, you aren't going to see what we're doing pre-snap. We're going to show you late. We're going to bring pressures from all different directions. We're not just going to be dropping into spots. We're going to be matching. We're going to be playing zone stuff underneath.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like a you go first, then I go kind of thing. Right? Like think about where we are now, where the offense lines up, all right? The defense lines up. The offense then motions 8 different people all over the place. We all know how it is now. Motion this, motion that. There's, it's everywhere. Then there's some play action mixed in there. But the defense, they're saying, all right, well, we're going to have this shell, and then dependent on what you do after the snap, because pre-snap doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, what you do after the snap, we're going to react in real time. We're going to react in real time and then force you to react in real time, either with your progression reads or the coordinator has to adjust mid-game and change things. And that's the new NFL. So if you have an offensive coordinator like, Pete Carmichael, who can't adjust and isn't even attempting to adjust, the game is over. The game is over. You are cooked. It is the definition of just hammering away at the same thing, just hitting your head on the wall for 4 quarters. And defensively, same thing too. If your defense can't adjust, if your defense is just going to play some old school style thing, it's not going to work. It will get figured out against a good offensive coordinator.
Complexity of the defenses has gotten so much more because the offenses have also started doing so much more that you have to be able to have answers for it defensively. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and it is fun though.
You should be an analyst.
No.
No?
You got more football to do. You got more football to play.
All right, so let's listen to the Staley part again in full. I won't pause it.
Now they're playing the offense. Right. And now more and more of this is shifted and molded into this defenses now that are holding these shells and being able to say, hey, you aren't going to see what we're doing pre-snap. We're going to show you late. We're going to bring pressures from all different directions. We're not just going to be dropping into spots. We're going to be matching. We're going to be playing zone stuff underneath. The complexity of the defenses has gotten so much more because the offenses have also started doing so much more that you have to be able to have answers for it defensively. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Things. Now you've got a defense that's not just gets hired to LA. Brandon Staley was with Fangio in Chicago. Staley in 1 year puts together the #1 defense in the league. Now Staley's thing is all about concept recognition, concept match, being able to be like cancel routes, move on to new things. Now you've got a defense that's not just dropping to spots, but now they're playing the offense. Right. And now more and more of this is shifted and molded into this defenses now that are holding these.
Yeah, I mean, it's very proactive. Like defense is kind of a reactive in nature, but it is proactive, and these coordinators are doing the same thing that you're seeing great offensive coordinators do. Like it is truly, it's what it should be, because it's not across the board, but what it should be is there should be every single play is a game. Like we talk about EPA all the time, right? EPA is on a per play basis. Right, we talk about YPP, yards per play. That is obviously on a per play basis. If you are not coaching on a per play basis, you are incredibly behind. Okay, and no shade, but that's why I was hammering Antonio Pierce all year last year. It was because it didn't matter the GM, it didn't matter the roster, it didn't matter no help here, no help there. He was actively dropping the win percentage by like 8 to 10 points at critical decisions. All right, I just bit my tongue, and I'm rolling right through it. I have water building up in my eyes right now. My eyes about to start watering. I'm about to start crying live on this video. Chomped away at my tongue. Brutal injury. I mean, blood could be filling in my mouth right now. I don't even know, but that's what coaching is now. And if you don't have the capabilities to adjust, if you don't have the capabilities to see a play and then move on to something else, change things on a moment's notice, if your team isn't prepped to do that, you don't have a prayer. You don't have a chance. All right? And it's so much more. Now that's the coach. Okay, let's move down to the players. I saw someone say, well, Kool-Aid McKinstry runs a 4.47. There's no way he's going to be able to keep up with a 4.37 wide receiver. That is thinking you might as well get a wild berry toaster strudel, sit down, cross-legged on the floor, get you a box of Cocoa Krispies, eat them out of the box while you're watching Saturday morning cartoons because you are in 1999. That's what that is. You are so 2000 and late if that's where you're thinking. That defensive backs or whatever is just down to the 40. Cooper Kupp just explained it. It is down to, can you in real time on every single play, can you recognize what routes are being run? Do you understand what you are supposed to do paired up with whatever route you're seeing? Are you getting that right 90+% of the time? Do you know the priority list? If anyone plays video poker, here, I might have a book on me. All right, so this is a Bob Dancer book, but this is an example I'm talking about, okay? So now, obviously, you can't bring this book into the casino, but if you're playing video poker, specifically double-double bonus poker, if you're playing that, you have to have this priority list table memorized, okay? So you this basically tells you what to hold in order, all right? So if you're like a single ace or a two suited high cards, all right? So this is 10th on the priority list. You would hold two suited high cards before you held a king, queen, jack of different suits, all right? You would hold two high cards of different suits before you held a king, queen, or jack alone. You would hold a 3-card royal flush before a 4-card flush, a consecutive 4-card straight, besides ace 2, 3, 4, and a low pair. All right, just an example. And some of that might be basic. That was the basic table. But you have to know that stuff. And video poker, if you don't know that, and you're just winging it, and you're just playing off of vibes and good times, well, you might as well take that $100 and go light it on fire. All right? Same thing with football. Same thing with these defensive backs. So there's so much more in today's game than just who's the fastest, who's the strongest, who's the biggest, who's got the best arm, who can jump the highest, who's got the best broad jump. None of that matters. All right? Now, I like Brandon Staley. I think he's awesome. I think he's great. I'm really surprised a lot of people are down on Staley as a defensive coordinator. We'll see if we have the roster to match what he wants to do and if he can get it all figured out in year one or if it'll take some time. We'll see. But, yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp is speaking the truth. So, good stuff here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get on down there. Get on down in them comments, and I'll see you in the next video.